Hey everyone, good morning. I'm out for a teacher professional development today, so I've left you guys with some instruction for what you're going to work on in class today. Um, all right, so we've been working on preparing to do our research project, which is again an annotated bibliography. And the next step I really need to be there for in terms of getting you guys to the next level. It was an activity I had planned to do with you. So I've decided to spend today having you guys work on your final exam preparation. And we've been doing so much testing that I've decided that for your final, you guys are going to actually be preparing your personal statement, which is something that most of you are going to need to write for applying for college. And so we're going to talk about that today. If you know somebody who's applied for college, you know that there's several steps involved, but one of the big ones is getting your personal statement written. And perhaps you have friends in other classes who are doing this with Miss Dahl. They're doing it at the same time as us, which is great. We're going to get started with this today, okay? And so to do that, we're going to be taking a look at the Common App website. And I've also put together a Dropbox for you for what you're going to complete today. All right, so we'll take a look at that in just a moment here. All right, so we're going to get started by going to this website, and this is the 2018 to 2019 Common App website. The page that it's going to bring you to is an article directly about the essay prompts. There are a couple links in here that you might want to take a look at. Okay, and if you haven't gone to this website before, we will probably, I believe that our college counselors go through this stuff with you guys as well. But in the fall, you're going to be all about the Common App, because the Common App is the location that many schools use for you to sort of centralize the process of applications. So you actually fill out one application that goes out to many different schools. And part of that is involves writing an essay. Okay, and so we're going to be taking a look at these essay prompts today. There are 7 of them. These are the same ones as last year. On the bottom, it goes through which ones were the most popular, but we're going to take a look at each one. I don't want to spend extensive time, so I'm going to just read them through with you, and then we're going to pull apart a couple of them. All right, so number 1, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful, they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. Number 2, the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you? And what did you learn from the experience? Number 3, reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Number 4, describe a problem you've solved or a problem you would like to solve. It can be an intellectual challenge, a research query, an ethical dilemma, anything that is of personal importance, no matter the scale. Explain its significance to you and what steps you took or could be taken to identify a solution. Number 5, discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. Number 6, describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? What or who do you turn to when you want to learn more? And finally, number 7, share an essay on a topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design. And that question is sort of like the carte blanche, whatever you want to write about, as long as it has to do with your personal story. Okay, and that's what I want to take a minute to emphasize, that each of these questions are asking you to specify something that is unique to the way you think, the way that you, your perspective, your life, things that have happened to you. It's not just academic, okay? And if I can just take the liberty of talking to you about college applications, so much emphasis we place on GPAs and scores and this award and that award, and did I do this club and did I do that? And those things are definitely important parts of your college application. You know, it's important for you to be thinking about what sets you apart, especially if you're wanting to get into a more competitive program. But writing the statement it is really an essential part of telling your story. And these are the things that make admissions counselors and committees really take a closer look at you. And so I can't underestimate to you how important it is to take this part seriously. So the first one in particular, this one is kind of broad, right? A background, identity, interest, or talent that is meaningful that you believe would that really sets you apart. It kind of gives you some breadth here, right? So think about your think about your own, you know, what makes you unique. What maybe you've come from a different country, or you've spent significant time in another country. That would be something to do with your background. Maybe it's something specific about your family, your cultural background, you know, some aspect of your story that they need to hear, okay? And you're going to frame today in your journal writing. I want you to really just kind of explore that. If you want to start out in point form, just to kind of get started with the idea process, maybe you're more of a mind mapper. You need to get out a sheet of paper and just kind of draw out different ideas from, you know, like a center circle or whatever. Think about how you go about generating ideas for writing, and that's where I want you to start today, okay? Let's look at a couple of the other ones. So the second one, again, this one is really focused in on the idea of a challenge, setback, or failure. Okay, maybe you've had to overcome a great difficulty in your life. You know, it could be a death in the family that that altered your course, and that really you had to navigate, you know, life a little differently. It could be, you know, a learning disability, a learning challenge, some kind of opposition that you've been faced with that has made you have to approach learning from a slightly different perspective, but it's also shaped your character, okay? Number 4, this is one that, you know, problem solving. If you are, let's say you're really seriously thinking about engineering, and I know there's some engineers in the room, this could be a project that you worked on that you want to talk about in particular that you know, that has sort of spurred a passion for what you want to do with your life. So really take some time this morning to think about what is interesting to you and what might spark a good essay, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to be doing this again as a journal entry today. You don't need to format this as an essay yet, okay? But right now I want you to just get the ideas flowing. I do want you to have a full page journal, okay? Now if you get to the point where you want to start formatting it, that's great. But for today I'm looking for your ideas, okay? I want you to think of this more as a narrative because it's telling your story, okay? Markers of your life, your experiences, your goals, etc. Okay, and this needs to get turned in by the end of class. The deadline is 9 a.m., okay? And you're just submitting a file to this Dropbox, okay? All right, so that's the essay prompts getting started on today. We will come back to this, but Friday when you come back, we're gonna jump right back into research, and then we'll be kind of touching back into this until the final week. And again, that's what's going to be due in the final exam period, okay? All right, last thing I want to point out to you guys, if you didn't turn in the research notes, those were due before class yesterday, so please make sure those get turned in. And then finally, this is the last week for any late work. At this point, I'm not accepting late work for anything that was done before the nonfiction unit, and late extra credit is also not accepted. However, anything from any roll sheets that were not turned in, you can turn those in for half credit, but they must be turned in by the end of next week. Okay? Have a great day, and I will see you guys on Friday.